welcome to my studio. Today we're going to paint this beautiful seascape with just only 3 colors in acrylics. You will need just red, blue and yellow and a little bit of white. So let's paint together. So to start with, I'm going to dampen my canvas because I want to create a quick background. I'm going to take my largest brush and mix my blue with a little water and a touch of white. My idea is to have a background covered with a thin, transparent layer of blue. And if necessary, if you're having trouble spreading it, don't hesitate to spray a little water. So as you can see, my first layer is really diluted, so that's easy to apply. Prepare your canvas in advance and you can paint them when they are dry. The horizontal lines will, of course, be used to represent the sea and the waves. And then in the sky there will be little things like that floating around, and I like the little nuance that will form. So while this base coat is drying, you can already prepare your colors. So since I want a relatively dark sky, I'm going to mix my red and my blue. And you see I haven't had to rinse my brush yet. I wrap it on the clothes often, that's for sure. I'm going to add a touch of yellow. We already have something very dark and that's what I'm interested in. Because you know this color is really my favorite and you will find it in many of my paintings. And what I'm going to show you now to extend my painting and drying time is this. It's a drying retarder that I found in a large DIY store. So you can put a little bit in this glass and you'll see the difference right away. Because on the canvas it can be very difficult to spread the colors, but if I just put a tiny bit of this retarder or extender on my brush, it's going to become much easier to spread and much beautiful, I think, also for the gradient. And why I'm interested in it's also because I'm able to create different layers and I love it. So just add a little tiny amount to dilute your paint and you can keep this retarder covered with a film to prevent it from drying out. And now I'm starting to build my sky and you've seen how I'm moving my brush. Earlier I was making broad, regular strokes, but now I'm really interested in using small brush strokes to build the gradient in the sky. And I'm back to my color with a little yellow to make my gray. And what interests me about acrylic paint is always layering, getting gradients, and I'm still on my background. So I love this darker color. I have to say it's one of my favorite, and you will see this color in almost every of my art painting. So just mix some blue and a little bit of white now because we are coming against the horizon and I want to lighten this part because it's always lighter and it gives you depth and perspective on your painting. And I'm going to lighten my colors again because I often paint with a little lighter, and we'll see later how I'm going to treat this cloud. So on this side, I want to create a light effect, so I'm painting lighter. Yeah, also, okay, so the first stage of a painting are always very strange, quite chaotic, and it really doesn't matter because you're building the foundations. So what matters is the final result. Now just trust the process. So I just keep on mixing my colors and finding a way to treat now the sea. And as you can see, I'm just adding some blue because I want like to divide my painting. One half is lighter than the others. So just build your gradient and don't hesitate to use some extender or retarder. I don't know which name you prefer, because really it extends the drying time and it's very useful to build gradients. And of course, depending on the dilution, you can get this gradient effect. And of course, you can go back over since it's not dry yet. So you've noticed how I hold my brush to create movement in the sky, to put some light. And with this large brush, you can do everything. Now I'm going to use a very deep blue to create the clouds by contrasting values. I always use my brush to create depth, and I think it's better. I mean, you've got a large brush, you've got large movement, and you want to give this energy to the painting. So to create these clouds, I just place light colors, and I just move my brush all the time, like continuously. And if you want to add depth, you can make a smaller cloud towards the horizon line also. So as you can see, I put dark. And from the outside, from the darks, I'm giving shapes to my clouds. And you can go and repeat and go over and over because it's not dry. I'm giving it a kind of V-shaped scratcher to these clouds. And I haven't rinsed my brush, since I started painting, because I was staying in the same color range. take a picture with my phone, and there are several things you can do and that are very useful. Check first your composition. Is it good with the grid? And after I've made this, and just check if the horizon is at the right place, and what about the clouds and everything. Later I will just convert my image to black and white, and I will check the contrast. And that shows me where I don't have enough contrast. So when I see that there is still a lack of contrast, I'm just going to apply some tape to redefine my horizon line, and after that I'm going to lighten the sky. So I will keep this not really precise, because I like to give my paintings this unfinished look, as they had just been done in the moment with brush marks. So just after I just again put some light and redefine the horizon, you will see the difference. And honestly, it's so useful. See, now it's very different, much more contrast. And I always use exactly the same colors that at the beginning, always my magenta, my yellow, and my blue, to create everything I need for this painting. So I'm going to go inside the clouds with my brush. And I'm just showing you that I'm still using the retarder. Honestly, it's so simple, and you can keep it so long because it doesn't dry, because you just put some kind of plastic on the top of it, and you can keep it so long, and it's very useful. So now it's time for me to change my brush, but I'm not going to rinse it. In case I use it again, I'm just going to wrap it in a baby wipe. With a little blue and a touch of yellow to create kind of bluish color for the reflections on the waves. So my brush is number 8, and I'm going to paint horizontally and create reflections because it's the illuminated part of the sea with a lot of light. And it's not turning out the way I want, so I'm going to change brush again. And I take my small brush and mix a little red into my very pale blue. I'm going to create, little touches of white to evoke the form of the waves also. And create little movement, little waves. And I'm going to create some texture on my painting by mixing this Liquitex product on my palette with my knife. And it's extremely easy to use, and I love it because I can use it directly on my palette, and I'm just going to mix it directly with my color. And at the end, you will see it's gonna give me texture and volume. So I want to give it to my clouds and my waves. And I will finish with the palette knife for even more volume. Because I think added textures and thickness makes the canvas much more interesting. And when you are watching this painting, it's always great to see all the details. And I love, for the spectator, I love him to just watch and come back again and find like little surprise that are waiting for him. Voila, this is it. I hope you did enjoy these paintings with me, and I hope you made beautiful seascape and beautiful clouds.